moving on to a panel that we are very excited about, that will be showcasing our students' voice from AUB and not just the faculty and staff's initiatives. So I'd like to invite the students and our moderator, Ms. Subhiya Najjar, to the stage. Thank you.
So funny. With your part of the room.
بس بدكم نبلش؟
أهمنا لازم نبلش دغري لأنه نبلش جديد هناخد بس بريك ربع ساعة.
هلا في بريك؟ لا. Hello. Hi, this session is really very positive. And thank you, AUB, for giving us this opportunity to be positive regarding refugees. And today we're not going to talk about feeding refugees with food or blankets, or we're feeding them with a big gift for the whole life and education. And with these talented youth, I'm really so proud to know about them, because every time I turn on the radio or the TV, I hear like very bad stories about refugees. Today, I was really impressed by their stories, how they are helping refugees through education, through English languages, and all what they need in their life. So we have Sar, and for you, Madam, the journalist who was asking about refugees, today we're going to talk about Syrian and Palestinian refugees. رح نحكي عن اللاجئين بس كرمال سؤالك، اللبنان الفلسطينية والسوريين. All kind of refugees here in Lebanon. I'll start with Lian, from the Palestinian Cultural Club. She will introduce her project later on, and Noor from UNICEF, working on psychosocial support for refugees. Ahmad Omar from the Syrian Club at AUB. And from LEAD, we have Sarah Muhammad. Sarah from the Leadership, Equity and Diversity Initiative. And also from, I'm really bad in names, Ahmad, from psychosocial support for Harvard program and trauma. And we highly need this psychosocial support for refugees. And for us also as Lebanese, we live in this like Syrian, all the Arab world, we need this psychosocial support trauma. And all the money comes from Mahmoud Kanso, the MasterCard Foundation for refugees. All these students or these youth are working with AUB. They go directly to the camp and they bring the camps to AUB. And this is really interesting. I'll start with Lean from the Palestinian Club. Can you introduce your work for everyone and how you are really involving students from the camps to be at AUB and to talk about their culture and about their history?
Hi everyone, good morning. I would like to start by thanking my doctor, Dr. Nasser Yassin, for inviting me to this panel. And I would like to thank all of you for coming. I'm the treasurer at the Palestinian Cultural Club, and we're starting a new initiative. This time, we're trying to go with PSF, the Palestinian Student Fund, and other initiatives where we can help students who want to apply to AUB and continue their higher education to be able to have a chance, because some of them think AUB is very difficult to get into, and some of them fear financially they will not be able to support their higher education. So what we're trying to do is telling them that there are funds, there are scholarships that you can apply to, and there are full tuition coverage, but you just have to try. And another thing that we try to do is build a community where everyone will understand that Palestinians are a family, that we care about one another, and we want to build a community where we all can integrate into the society and become part of AUB in general. And yeah, I'd like to thank you for introducing me.
Okay, but they have a lot of barriers to come
Definitely.
to AUB. It's very expensive, you said. But how you can get this scholarship from Mahmoud, for example?
They can apply
It's
to
very
the
difficult.
master.
A lot of students, and especially refugees, they ask for this scholarship. So they need top score, or do you help them to have a special training, special workshop to be as AUB student?
We try to introduce them to the facilities that will help them, that they can do, if they didn't do well, for example, on their SAT exams, they can apply for EEE or TOEFL, or these exams that are, they can help them. They can also take remedial courses at AUB. It's not the end of the world if your English is not that well. You need to take part of the university. There are there are obstacles, but as obstacles, we try to make it better for them. We're trying to make it easier so you can be in AUB, because it's not as difficult as people see it, like it's impossible. It's not impossible. You can be part of this university. It's just you need to try, and you need to know more about it and about the scholarships that are offered and financial aid.
Okay, thank you. Noor, UNICEF is helping students from the age of 10 to get English languages, to be involved in the public school. You start from their very early age. So how you can help these students? It's only in Bekaa or all over Lebanon, because UNICEF was involved in education, and they have a good network and all the public school with the Ministry of Education. So how through AUB you are helping them?
Okay. So hi, my name is Marhab Hab. I am a cabinet member of AUB UNICEF. Basically, this club started 5 years ago with the direct coordination and supervision of the Center of Civic Engagement of AUB, and we go to the schools of AUB, Kayani Ghata schools in Majdaran Bekaa. So basically what we do is, this is a psychosocial program. The goal of it, because we get into contact with kids that are as young as 4 years, okay? The goal of it is for fun, for them, for self-confidence, for self-expression, for them just to look forward for something in the weekend, despite everything that they're going through, as small as the academic pressure that they're having and they're facing. So they look for something for the weekend to come, and they see us. We just see them running towards the buses as we go up. And at the end of the day, when we like, it's a hectic journey. And you go from every day, you wake up on a Saturday, and then you go to Bekaa, and then you come back in a very short time manner. But once you come back and you see all the smiles that you put on the faces, and all the letters that you get, and the projects and the games that you interacted with the kids with them, you see that these kids, they need one thing. They need to smile. They need to have fun. And this is what the UNICEF Club is trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, Amar, thank you, Noor. Amar, you are the president of Syrian Cultural Club. We have I wish the politicians, they can let youth involve more in politics like AUB today. Ahmad, how the Syrian Club is involving at AUB, and how do you go to camps and let the camps come to you?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the Syrian Culture Club at AUB. Many of you do not know what is the Syrian Culture Club. SCC, basically, it is one of the oldest and most active clubs, student clubs at AUB. It consists of around 70 members, 6 cabinet members, and 13 organizing committee members. Our mission is to unite the Syrian students with other students of different nationalities at AUB, including the Lebanese students. We also seek to uphold the Syrian image in the eyes of AUB, the Syrian image, culture, and traditions in the eyes of AUB and Lebanon as a whole, by developing skills in group cooperations through planning and organizing various events. Also, one of our major goals that is related to this forum is community service towards the refugees. The Syrian Culture Club, at the Syrian Culture Club, we organize many events that we aim through it to reach the refugees and support the refugees. For example, over the past 7 years, we organized a lot of continuous cloth drives, donation raising, fundraisings, and many other events. We collaborate also with other AUB clubs and societies and NGOs. We have collaborated more than once with the UNICEF. We went with the UNICEF club at AUB to visit the Kayani Ghata schools. And one of the most important events we have in the year is our annual charity gala dinner. This gala dinner, basically, it's a social event. It's a social gathering for the members, from which we sell tickets and we raise donations for certain NGOs. This year, our gala dinner the proceeds of the gala dinner will go to the Syrian Arab Red Crescent, which is an NGO that is recognized by the International Red Cross Committee, working in Syria with the refugee. It's basically similar to the Lebanese Red Cross, and it has a lot of departments that work with the refugees that are displaced within Syria. I would like to also note that the Syrian Culture Club is a non-politically and non-religiously affiliated club, and we welcome anyone to our events, anyone who would like to help or to support us in our events.
Thank you, Ahmed. It's really interesting. Sarah Muhammad from LEAD, you have a great initiative as well regarding refugees with the president of AUB. You started here at AUB and you're spreading this initiative with Syrian refugees. Can you introduce your initiative?
Hello everyone. My name is Sarah Muhammad and I'm studying public administration in AUB, and I graduate in 2 weeks. So yeah, thank you. So since I got enrolled in AUB, I was committed in a voluntary program called English Teaching for Adults. It's a collaboration between an NGO called Jusur with the Civic Engagement and Community Service Center in AUB, where volunteers teach the English language for adults. The age range is from 18 to 30 and maybe above. So basically the refugees come to AUB and they are divided by their level of English, and even some of them, they don't know English at all. And basically we prepare the curriculum for them, we give them homework, we teach them English, and sometimes we give them even like not only like a support for their education and the English language, even like a support because we know that they are like they have circumstances and they live in like vulnerable communities, and we deliver the English just to make them like, yes, they can learn, they can still like live and do things like
they can work, they can go to universities.
Yes, they can, yeah. And
they can travel if they want to leave this country because they don't have any rights. So
the reasons that they want from English is some of them they want to do masters, and some of them they want to get jobs or travel, or even moms come to learn English to teach their kids English. So yeah.
Great, Sarah. Thank you so much. We all need the English languages now. Ahmed Msouti, psychosocial support for refugee students, and you do from Harvard, and you do specialized in trauma. We are all traumatized. I told you before, in the Arab region through studies, not my opinion. We are really all
Everyone has that.
traumatized from what we see every day, from what we are suffering, and but refugees are more traumatized, especially children. How your initiative can help? So introduce it, please.
So I was part of a research under Harvard Refugees Trauma and AUB Civic Engagement Center. Basically, we analyzed data and met children, refugees, interviewed them, and took surveys results in order at the end to create a center in the camps that helps refugees under stress, trauma, and other issues. I want to mention that on the outer scope, the impact that me and all of the students that make is very positive. What we try to do is basically create a nicer environment for a very, very, very bad one. And no one is happy there. No one is happy sitting around and in the camps. We do psychosocial support, we do classes, we teach English, we teach drama, we teach music, we teach dancing, only to make the environment more bearable for refugees. So yeah, spread love, not hate.
Trauma therapy is only for refugees, or you're working also with local communities? Because both of them, they need it. Also, for example, in Bekaa,
yes,
we have a lot of like families, they are suffering as well. So do you do for people in Bekaa, for example, in Baralies or near Kayani, also in Ghata
So the
school?
research itself is only concentrated on the
Inside the
conditions of refugees, children.
Okay. Do you have a link with Noor, because Noor is doing the same
Yes, of course.
project?
We do psychosocial support. I was also part of psychosocial support programs for over 2 years. We used to go every Saturday and introduce the activities, peace education, and we have definitely seen results from every beginning of the program till the end. Children were having difficulties interacting with each other, even dancing with each other. By the end of the program, you see everyone dancing in one room, having fun. We used to do a talent show where we train the children on a talent that they love and they're passionate about, and present it by the end of the program. Halloween activities and
We're gonna end this session by like a very dancing on the floor.
Yeah, of course, I would love to.
Thank you so much, Ahmad. So you have all the money. You're the government now. You're our bank from Mahmoud Kanso, MasterCard Foundation. When I read MasterCard Foundation, I said, thank God we have scholarship for all refugees in Lebanon and the region. Can you introduce how do you work with refugees on scholarship?
So good morning, everyone. My name is Mahmoud Kanso, and I'm the scholars representative of MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at AUB for this year. I'm studying civil engineering, and this is my second year. First, I would like to tell you, first I would like to thank the Civic Engagement Center for inviting me to this very interesting panel. I want to tell you briefly about some of my previous experiences. So I was part of the ATP program organized by AUB. I was part of the digital skills program organized by AUB and WFP. I volunteered with the UNICEF Psychological Support Program, and I also volunteered an English Empowerment Initiative in Maimouna School in Al-Fakiha in the North Bekaa. So after I volunteered in many initiatives organized by AUB here and even in my region in Al-Fakiha North Bekaa, this year, AUB and MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program provided me the chance and the opportunity to organize a whole project for the refugee students community. So we as MCF scholars every year, we organize a service day where we go and get in touch with the community to help them in a specific issue. And this year we chose to deal with the, as I said, in the students refugee community. And with the help with the Civic Engagement Center and partnership with them and the Malala schools and Kayani schools, we organize 5 full energetic days that are full of workshops for leadership skills, for self-esteem, for peer and community relationships, etc. And like more than 100 scholars organize these workshops for throughout 2 months. And yes, I do believe we did a great impact on both scholars and the students. Many scholars now are thinking of organizing and volunteering such initiatives in the local communities. And students benefit and enjoyed every single minute of this day. I have a response from one of the students who told me in Arabic, "يا ريتها نار ما خلص." I hope this day have never finished. It was full positive and energetic day. I think that's it, and as I said, I'm very sure many scholars now are thinking of organizing such initiatives because of the full motivating skills that students provided for the scholars. They showed them how persistent they are, how hardworking they are, how determined. I think that's it, and thank you.
Thank you so much. So now I have one question for all of you. So we would like to hear your stories, success story for students. Okay, we're doing this project and initiatives that are really good, but everyone is asking what's next, how these children or students are involved in this program for a long term. You can tell us more examples and the stories. We know the initiative is good. We hear like your projects, English languages, psychosocial support, but the real impact through examples, real examples and stories. So. I wish we have TVs here. They can also hear about the success stories from the camps, and they can maybe change their mind about what's happening and for less discrimination in this country.
Hi again. As a Palestinian Cultural Club, we started to see that more, as I was more involved into the club, I realized that we have people from camps, from inside camps that are at AUB, that are fully funded, and we try to make them as guiders for the new coming students. I personally was with one person who wanted to come at AUB, and he's Palestinian, but he didn't have funds. So we went directly to talk to the financial aid office, and they directed us to the MasterCard, and they said that there's a deadline. We helped fill out the form, and now he's part of AUB, and he's part of the club, more involved. Now he's trying to help other students, to encourage them and to become part of AUB. I also yesterday, I received a message from one of my friends. They're like, you helped a lot of people into AUB, and now we want to see, why don't you do an event where you can show all of the students who were helped as part of their Palestinians and as part of our club. So this is one of the most amazing ideas that we're probably going to do next year.
This is a great idea for Dr. Nasser and the IFI Club. So we really need to see them, to hear their stories, their success stories, because they are doing great. And like living in a camp is not an easy work. We always visit the camp and we see how people are suffering, especially now in the winter. I don't know what's the next step for them. So Noor, you're working with children. Yes. So what is the impact for them? And psychosocial support is really good, especially during war and during crisis. It's almost 9 years in crisis.
So maybe our impact will not affect them directly, and they will not enroll in the school and do go to the universities and have a success story. But I think we're implanting something that it will help them for the long run. Also within, not only with the refugees and the kids, we're also implanting this motivation for us as students. So basically the volunteers, once they go up and we see, personally, I'm not working only with AUB UNICEF, I work with other clubs and programs. on a personal level, once I get and I receive messages like, thank you so much, Miss Noor, thank you, you are my model, you are my motivator, أنا كتير بحبك. They get me simple gifts, like they take whatever small money they get and they go get the gift because they see that how much I care about them and how much I just really want to see them smile, and they make me smile and we learn a lot from them. So this interaction that they build and this trust that they have, the rapport that they develop with us, helps them to think that there's someone that is going to look out for them, and there's people that they really care about them, that they view them not just as refugees, that they view them as children, that they have the full right to smile, to have the full right to enjoy a weekend that is supposed to be a basic right for every child out there. So I think this is what we focus on. And I think that this will give them a push that they will study. I have a lot of girls that, especially during the summer, I worked with the Malala schools. They ask me, like, can you give us scholarships to go outside and study outside? Why outside? Why not in Lebanon? Because they see that no one is seeking their help. They want to go outside to Germany. Sorry for stating. بدهم يروحوا على ألمانيا لأنه هونيك they're seeing the success stories that other refugees are having out there and not here. So all of this really does have an impact on them. And us also, when students, they go and they see that this is reality. This is not something that we're only hearing on news and we're seeing on pictures. Once they get exposed to whatever is happening and the conditions that they're living there, they push themselves to work harder, to give ideas and to donate a lot of their time and their effort just to help these kids. So yeah.
Ahmad, you're working with adults now, if I want to see, almost. So what Omar, how, yani, the difference between children and adults is totally different, but these people are more involved to get work now. Not only they want university, especially refugees. They need work, not only like universities. How you can help to lead them on the right path? So start with your major, good major, with education, and then you can work. And we know refugees, they cannot work in Lebanon. So how your secular club is helping them?
Can you repeat from the beginning?
I
guess في misunderstanding.
No, how the secular club is helping people to choose their, like, Syrian club, sorry, their major, so their university, they're on the right path to continue their education. Okay,
I want to emphasize on the awareness we spread through our work. Our work is basically on campus. يعني نحن when we don't deal with refugees directly as a Syrian club. We deal as the students. We gather together and we organize events. And from these events, we donate.
Have workshops, awareness training, how they can choose their major, how they can be also involved at AUB.
Yeah, but we're not involved with the refugees as directly. Yani we're involved in the AUB community. When we do the events together as a club, and when we raise the money, or when we raise the clothes, although it's a small amount, but after the effort you put in the event, you feel the success, and you feel how big your impact can be. I want to also refer to an incident that happened with me personally when I went with UNICEF. When we organized one of our events with the UNICEF Club and we went to the schools, you can see the future, you can see a bright future in the eyes of those kids. Those kids and children might not have the opportunity, but if they were given the right opportunity, they can do a lot from it. So
that's why Noor is here, and Ahmad as well.
So you can see the hope in the eyes of the kids.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, do you have success stories from
yes.
all your students? And
yes. Okay, I need to say this story about 4 students I had in the first class I ever taught. So they never knew English at all. I taught them like from scratch. they kept coming for 3 years to the program, and I always signed up in the class that they are in. So 2 of them now in Canada, and I received a call from them last year. They're telling me that they had an assessment English test, and they got enrolled in the advanced English class, and that this feeling was the best feeling that they ever felt, like getting in an advanced class, because they always used to do the assessments and they were always in the 0 or the first level. And they said, like, we're so proud and we want to make you proud. And I thought, like, Miss, we could never do this without you. And it really makes me, like, literally cry. Another student also, he got his master's in philosophy, and he calls me like every week just to check up on me and tell me if I need anything, because he said no matter what I did, I could never pay you back on what, like, it just makes me, I really want to cry right now. And another girl, she's an amazing girl.
Should be so proud, Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an amazing girl, and she wanted to apply for masters and work in law offices, and she's now there. And she calls me in Teachers' Day, and she said, I really want to do what you're doing right now. Like, I really want to help. Like, my English is improved now, and I really want to teach refugees English. And so basically, you see like a small help that you can give, it really changed their lives and yeah, put a huge impact on them. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Ahmad, we heard a lot about trauma therapy, but what is your success stories? Because people, they can really pass through like good life in a camp, especially for children and women. Like children and women, they suffer the most in crisis, usually.
So I think the success story of that research lies in the future plan that we will implement as AUB. So the fact that they're creating a center to help people on daily basis is a huge thing. And I think other success story is, and it's the core success story in AUB, is that the fact that this is the second forum and AUB created a momentum that is unstoppable. I mean, I still see, even though I haven't volunteered for a while, I still see students going on, new students going to the camps, helping. And this lies in the fact that the AUB Center of Civic Engagement is always motivating students, always creating new volunteers opportunities. And yeah, it's a momentum that's not going to stop until the suffering ends. This is the biggest success story, I think.
Mr. Money. The success story, you make the success story. You choose. Like, we want to give a scholarship for this student, but how you can do it? So, for example, because sometimes it is, are you fair, or like it's a fair story, or fair scholarship for the right person? Because every time I want to ask, like, scholarships goes for the right person, for the right student, for the right.
Okay, so for any scholarship at AUB, like Mastercard Foundation is one of them, whenever they provide any scholarship, they look for different criteria. And one of the criteria is academic. The other one is the leadership skills. And the third one is their willingness to give back to their community. Are they willing to stay in the country, to get back to Syria and help rehabilitate their countries, their homes, their community, or they're gonna run to America, to Europe, and just spend a lifetime there? So this is a criteria that's focused on these scholarships, and my scholarship is one of them, and the financial need for sure. Please, if you allow me to answer the question for what is your next step, I'm gonna answer this question.
We need to hear a story before. A story.
You mean
from the refugees scholarship? They got the scholarships. They did great. They went to US or to Canada, or they stayed here and they have like a good major. They started working. So we would love to know more about stories about people, because we are all here for refugees, for people, not only like to talk about like big titles, but it's a human rights and human stories. So. That's why I asked you to tell us about the success stories, not only the success initiative.
Okay. So you want me to talk about a success story, MCF scholars? I don't know if this is very personal. I'm going to talk about myself.
It will be great. So.
Okay. So when I was in baccalaureate grade 12, I was very afraid, will I get to a university? Universities here are very expensive. And with our like situations, we can't even pay the tuitions for the university. The Lebanese university, it's costs more than $1,000, and it's very expensive for us. So I started applying for every single scholarship I face, and MasterCard was one of them. And when I got accepted to the MasterCard Foundation, and I've never dreamed to be like at AUB. I was just hoping to be in any university. I just, even if it was 20s ranks in Lebanon, I don't care. I don't mind. It's just a university. It's just an educational opportunity to complete my education. Because you know what? Like I believe in education. Education is a powerful weapon that will help solve any problem. And refugees crisis, Syrian crisis is a very sophisticated problem, but I believe that education will help solving it. Like it will solve it from the basis, from the roots.
So thank you so much. It's a great story, by the way. Thank you so much, Ahmad. My next question, and then you can ask your questions. What's the impact, the real impact on you? What did you learn from this experience? So I'm sure the children and the education and these initiatives, they give a lot for us. They feed us with culture, like we can take more decisions, go on a risk project. So what did you learn from this experience? And to give it to AUB as well, and to your communities, and to Syria, to Palestine, to Lebanon, to the local communities.
So one of the main impacts that it had on me, working as a cabinet member in PCC, I developed many skills. One of them is understanding and patience, because I got to see what people think from behind the refugee camps. Like I don't live in a refugee camp, but when I see what people see and how important their cause is to them, I learned to understand them. I learned to accept their points of view. I learned to see that I am privileged. I'm part of AUB. I should be thankful for the things that I have and not just complain. My complaining decreased a lot. And and I'm part of a very loving community. Palestinian Cultural Club, they're trying to build a family. We're from scratch. We're still starting a very new system. Everything's very difficult. We're just 8 members of the cabinet club, and then we're trying to get all the members from different backgrounds, refugees, people who are more privileged, who are capable of having education, and getting them all into AUB. You're building something, people from different regions. So I got to see a full view, a holistic view about Palestine. People who read about, for example, Ghassan Kanafani. I didn't know about him that much. And now I know more about writers. I know more about the Great Return March that's going Gaza right now. And it's different. You feel more committed to your own cause, because I see people who are forgetting the Palestinian cause. I see it every day. And some people just refuse to believe themselves as Palestinians. And it hurts, because it's a cause, and we want to keep it. We want to keep it alive. It's not something that just came out of the blue. It's been there since 1917 until now. So we need to make an impact, and it's time for us to move. And it fills you with hope that you can make a change. We're not just students sitting around. No, we have an impact. We can impact people our age. We can start from the people who are growing up, and these people will become important people in the future. So I believe what we're doing, even though it's a startup, it's something really, AUB.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a great. Noor, you have a lot to tell us, right? From children, you can learn a lot.
Yes, a lot. Basically, I've always loved the humanitarian work field. I've always had an incline towards it, and I'm a typical Lebanese, and I don't have the struggles maybe like he did. So maybe it's not going to affect me directly. But once you go and you see the kids, as I said before, you see the interaction, you see how much you can make a difference. I learned a lot. I became more mature. The time management that I am learning is a lot, because you're taking time from this. You're studying time, and AUB is a very demanding college. So it takes a lot from you and your effort, and forcing yourself to wake up on a Saturday at 8, at 7. Where you could sleep, it really says a lot about what you can do in the future. So basically, it just told me that I'm a person that no matter whatever I'm gonna face, whatever crisis, whatever problem, difficulties, and I'm gonna bridge a lot. It shapes you as a person, and it shapes your mind to be more like solution-oriented. Like you look at the problem, and then we're like training our minds to look for the solution, look for the tactics that we can develop. So it's benefiting me as much as I'm benefiting kids, and maybe it's not a selfish thing, because this is how we should look towards it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. President of your club. So
I'm gonna say briefly what I learned from my experience at the Syrian Culture Club. When we stay late at night, trying to make the events we're organizing as successful as we can, and we try our best to reach the biggest amount of attendees for the event to be successful, for us to raise the donations we want, for us to get the clothes we want, for us to gather the number we want in order to go and meet the refugees, to make their lives easier. You learn that when you see the event successful in front of your eyes, you learn that you have to never stop giving. We as students, our impact might not be that large impact on the large scale. We do not have that financial power to give that economic aid or the political decision to make this crisis end, or we do not have that power. So the things we do are very small, but their impact are targeted to the people that we work with, to the certain persons, individuals we work with, not as in general. These small impacts, with time, they make a very larger impact. Thank you.
Sarah,
The impact. Okay.
you have a lot. I know you told me behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the students, when they know that the refugees, when they know that we are just students that are teaching them English voluntarily, they say that we are like their great example of hope. And actually, this put a huge responsibility on me, like personally. Like I think I should never stop doing this, because even though I'm like graduating, but they made me realize how education is very important for the refugees, and these small initiatives make big differences. And actually, they made me choose what I want to do for masters. I want to pursue masters in education management, to do a similar initiative in my city back home in Syria, because we also have refugees who need to learn, and that's what I want to do. So they helped me to choose what I want to do in life, and this is the best wish I could ever wish from this.
Thank you to refugees. So
Yeah, exactly.
thank you so much, Sarah. Ahmad, are you traumatized? Or
No. I think what you get out of the volunteering experience and the humanitarian experience is that you learn a lot from them as much as they learn from you. If not, you learn more. You learn how to be resilient. You learn emotional intelligence. You learn how to go through hardships and suffering and still be resilient and still smile at the end of the day. Because they all do, they all laugh. And then they tell you the story and you think to yourself, oh wow, how do they deal on a daily basis? Like where did they get this strength from? But I think this is the biggest thing that you learn from every single child that I've ever met.
Thank you. Did you get more money from children, from refugees, from students?
So personally, I think the impacts from the refugees is just unstoppable. Because when you are a refugee and you know the amount of the tiring challenges you have passed through and they are passing through, immigrating from a place full of danger to a place away from home, like leaving home countries, is very difficult for us, okay? And when I volunteer with refugees and see them suffering the same challenges that I passed through, like they just feel you are a role model for them. And for me, it just sharpens my personality with every experience I do. Because when you feel like you are a role model for the children, you're a role model for the students, you feel like you need to work on your personality. You need to motivate them and not like drag them back. Like, you know, one time someone told me, no, it's just too late. How can you just solve the accumulation of destruction, not only like on the buildings, on the people's personality? So I just told him, like, you know what, like to light a candle is just better than cursing the night. And this is my like belief in life and my motivation.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you have
you.
double responsibility. So do you have any question for these talented students and volunteers?
I just want to make a quick comment. I want to thank you because we know how hard it is for you juggling your studies and your other obligations, and that you make the time and the intense effort that you put in to your various forums of civic engagement and supporting young people who are facing challenging situations. You're incredible, and we learn more from you as well, and I just appreciate you sharing your stories with us. And as from the Center for Civic Engagement, how proud we are of you, and you know, however we can continue to support you, we will.
I just wanted to say also it's very inspiring to hear about all your experiences, and I don't know if you were here for the session. I hope that the learning environment in the Hamra building materializes, so that all of you can also, besides your helping in further areas, you can also contribute to helping in our own neighborhood, because you know everybody. I think that the people in this building particularly, or in buildings in urban environments, can even suffer more than tented settlements, because they don't have even the luxury of seeing the sun in a natural environment. Like I see the kids just in this corridor, in this damp, dirty corridor, and I think that maybe if they had the chance to run in the field in Biqa, even under you know, heavy weather conditions, they still have this connection to nature. While here they're really double abused, one by their fate to be refugees, and second by being enclosed behind doors because their parents are afraid to go out. So I hope this will present an opportunity for all of you to also volunteer with us.
Just quickly, I want to thank you all. I reiterate what Brooke said about the amazing work that you're doing, and we also all learn from you. I want to stress on two things. First, the role of academic institutions to create channels for the students to be able to go through these experiences. I want to thank the Center of Civic Engagement at AUB and all the others AUB channels that are created for the students. This is, I think, a model for all institutions. And I want to give you one more role, which is to, as much as possible, push other students to engage with you, other AUB students, other students in general to engage with you, because you happen to have this inner drive and you took this, the opportunities, I mean, you took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to you. Other students are still juggling with academics, and we know that you also have this. So just one more thing, push more students to engage with you, and thank you. It was really inspirational.
question from the audience. One more here.
First, I want to say I appreciate very much what you're doing. All your endeavors, they are very precious, you know. I'm working with Universal Peace Federation, and we have been working together in collaboration with AUB4Refugees for 4 years now in the refugee camp, directly bringing students, up to 25 students sometimes. We created family festivals. We did give donation, distributing things, you know, over the 4 years period, and I could eyewitness how precious it is for the children when they see the student. It's like a win-win situation. I observed it, you know. It's uplifting for the students and the children. It's amazing the interactions they have. So that's why I would like to encourage you, really also try to find ways how you can actually go sometimes to a camp as a whole group and interact with the refugees, you know, especially with the children. It's amazing. And one of you said, we cannot resolve the whole crisis and everything. That's true, right? Because the need is so huge. So economic-wise, in many ways, we cannot resolve that. But what we always have as a motto for our work is that we want to create a moment for them, you know, something positive, something they can remember for a long time and gives them hope for the future, you know, like this. That's basically what we did. Thank you.
And you're doing the same, creating positive, sustainable projects for all the refugees and for the student and for yourself. I'm so proud of you. I volunteered a lot with many NGOs when I was young. So, and now they are calling me, we really don't have youth. They don't care about volunteering, about human rights, about human work. So we are really so proud of you. And thank you to AUB and to give us the opportunity to know about your stories. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for what you are doing now for everyone, for Lebanon, for Syria, for Palestine, for the Arab countries, and for the students. Thank you so, so much, and keep it up. And thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm sure this was maybe the most inspiring panel for us today, and the forum as well. I'd like to invite you all to a small break in the back. Please note that the break will only be for 15 minutes and directly starting with the session afterwards. Thank you. And also, please, for those we will have a speaker speaking in Arabic. Whoever needs interpretation should grab a headset on the way back. Thank you.